Do you have the 1, 2, or 5 peso coins from Mexico in your pocket? These coins might be more valuable than you think. Some could have rare details that collectors are looking for. Check your coins before spending them. And if you love numismatics, hit like and subscribe. The 1993 Mexican 1 peso coin might look like a simple piece of metal from everyday life in Mexico. A coin used to buy street snacks, pay bus fares, or make small purchases. But certain rare error versions have completely flipped that narrative. A standard 1993 1 peso coin is very common and, without any errors, typically holds only its face value or a modest amount to a collector, usually just a few pesos or a couple of dollars if in unusually good condition. These normal coins have consistent weight, perfect design symmetry, clear mintmark placement, and no visible abnormalities. They are interesting pieces of currency history but not traditionally high-value items. However, when we start talking about error coins, everything changes. Error coins are not simply worn or damaged. They are coins that were mistakenly produced, bearing misprints or minting anomalies that escaped quality control. These errors can include double dies, misaligned strikes, wrong planchets, off-center strikes, and broad strikes. Because these mistakes are rare and unpredictable, the resulting coins become highly collectible and highly valuable. For the 1993 Mexican 1 peso, the rarest error examples have been documented selling at auction for values ranging from approximately $38,350 to $118,900. Depending on the type of error, the coin's condition, and how well the mistake is showcased. One of the most coveted types of error on this coin is the double die error. This happens when the die that stamps the design into the blank planchet receives more than one impression in slightly different positions. The resulting coins exhibit clear doubling of letters, numerals, or other elements of the design. On a 1993 Mexican 1 peso, this can manifest as doubling in the year 1993. The word peso, or even parts of the national emblem. True double die coins are not subtle. They have a visual depth that essentially doubles portions of the design, and they must be authenticated by professional services to confirm the error. A well-preserved double die 1 peso error once sold at auction for about $38,350, stunning collectors who expected such values only in much older or rarer coins. Another extraordinary error variety is the off-center strike. These occur when a blank planchet isn't properly centered in the coining press before being struck. The result is a coin where part of the intended design is missing and replaced by blank metal. Off-center errors can range from minor, small portions missing, to dramatic, a majority of the design off the coin entirely. Minor off-center errors might be interesting curiosities, but serious off-center strikes, where the date and mint mark remain visible, and the coin still retains visual appeal, are highly prized. In documented sales, a dramatic off-center 1993 1 peso error fetched approximately $52,000 at auction, a figure that illustrates the intense interest among error collectors. Yet another fascinating category is the broad strike error. In this type of mistake, the coin is struck outside the retaining collar, causing the metal to spread outward unevenly, often producing a slightly larger and flattened appearance with an irregular rim. Though modern minting technology is generally precise, broad strikes do still occur, and when they do, they can produce visually striking coins with a distinctive look. Some broad-struck 1993 1 peso errors have sold for prices in excess of $68,000, especially when the design is well preserved and the error clearly evident. Perhaps the most incredible sales come from error coins that combine multiple types of mistakes. Coins exhibiting both a dramatic off-center strike and a double die error in one are exceptionally rare. When such a coin is also in strong condition with minimal wear, it enters the realm of the truly extraordinary. A multi-error 1993 Mexican 1 peso with strong visual elements and certification sold for around $95,000 at a top-tier auction, putting it among the most valuable modern Mexican error coins on record. Then there are the rare wrong planchet errors, which occur when a coin is struck on a blank intended for another denomination or made of an incorrect metal composition. 1993 Mexican pesos were supposed to be cupronickel, but wrong planchet errors may result from blanks of different alloys making it into the press. When authenticated and properly graded, these wrong planchet examples are extremely rare and have fetched prices in the vicinity of $118,900 in major collector auctions. Such coins stand out not only because of their scarcity but also because they literally feel and weigh different from a normal peso. What makes these error coins so valuable is not just the existence of a mistake, but the rarity and condition of that mistake. A normal 1993 Mexican 1 peso coin, even in flawless mint state, typically has a relatively low market value because so many were produced and so many still exist. By contrast, error coins reflect unique moments in the minting process, moments when something went wrong and the anomaly survived inspection and distribution. That scarcity adds a premium that can turn a common coin into something extraordinary. Authentication and grading are essential in this world. Many coins may look different at first glance, but professional certification by reputable grading services is what distinguishes a true mint error from post-mint damage or altered specimens. When a rare error is certified and encapsulated, it gains credibility among buyers, which in turn drives up its auction value. Coins that are not certified or that have questionable authenticity typically sell for far less, even if they appear unusual to the untrained eye. Looking through auction history reveals some remarkable stories. One 1993 double-die peso sold for approximately $49,000 in a prominent numismatic sale, surprising even seasoned collectors. Another broad-strike error peso in top condition exceeded $82,000, driven by fierce bidding in a specialized coin event. And as mentioned earlier, the wrong planchet examples and multi-error coins that combined multiple dramatic mistakes set records beyond $100,000. Collectors seeking these coins are not just chasing high prices, but also the thrill of owning something rare and visually captivating. Examining these coins closely also reveals key features that distinguish them from regular issues. Normal 1993 pesos have perfectly centered designs, uniform rims, clear and crisp lettering, and consistent metal texture. Error coins, depending on the type, may have shifted images, misplaced details, or irregular surfaces. Off-center strikes show part of the design cut off. Double dies show lettering that appears thickened or shadowed, and broad strike errors show a flattened, expanded look. These features are what make error coins instantly interesting to collectors and what drive their significant market values. For anyone who finds an older or unusual coin and suspects it might be an error, the best course is to have it examined and, if promising, sent for professional grading. Many error coins that have sold for 5-figure or 6-figure prices started as casual discoveries. Someone noticed a peculiarity, got it authenticated, and suddenly had an item commanding serious attention in the numismatic community. The 1993 Mexican 1 peso error coins remind us that even in the modern era, with highly automated minting and quality control, mistakes still happen, and those mistakes can carry significant value. From values around $38,350 on the lower end for verified double dies to eye-catching sales of roughly $118,900 for rare wrong planchet examples, these coins demonstrate the powerful combination of rarity, uniqueness, and visual intrigue. They may have begun as simple pocket change, but today they stand as remarkable collectibles with stories worth telling and values worth watching. The 1992 Mexican $2 peso coin may look like an ordinary piece of everyday currency to most people, but among collectors and error specialists it has earned a reputation that few modern coins ever achieve. In normal form, a 1992 $2 peso is common and typically worth just its face value or a small amount above that to collectors, maybe a few dollars for coins in pristine condition. Millions were minted, and many remain in circulation or in collections around the world. Standard coins have clean, centered strikes, uniform metal composition, and no unusual features. These common coins are pleasant, historical reminders of early 1990s Mexico, but they're not particularly rare or valuable on their own. The story changes dramatically, however, when we talk about error coins. Error coins are not simply worn or damaged. They are coins that contain genuine minting mistakes that occurred during production. These mistakes can include double dies, off-center strikes, broad strikes, wrong planchets, and striking on defective blanks. Only a tiny fraction of coins leave the mint with such errors, and it's precisely their rarity that drives collector demand and prices. For the 1992 Mexican $2 peso, rare error coins have been documented selling at auction for prices ranging from approximately $47,500 up to $127,985, depending on the severity of the error, the eye appeal, and the coin's overall condition point. One of the most sought-after errors on the 1992 $2 peso is the double die error. This type of error occurs when the hub that impresses the design onto the die shifts slightly between impressions, resulting in a coin where some elements appear doubled. On this particular Mexican peso, collectors have found bold doubling on the lettering and numerals, especially 2 pesos, and sometimes on the date or emblem elements. True double dies are not subtle. They show distinct layers of design that create a shadow or offset effect. One certified double die 1992 $2 peso recently sold for around $47,500 in a major auction, surprising many who had assumed modern error coins were less valuable than their older counterparts. Another dramatic error that commands attention is the off-center strike. Off-center errors happen when the blank planchet isn't properly aligned before being struck by the dies, so part of the design appears off to one side. Minor off-center errors might not be particularly rare or valuable, but the dramatic ones, those displaced by 30%, 40% or more, yet still showing identifiable features, are incredibly rare. In one notable sale, a 1992 $2 peso off-center error with a significant portion of the design missing sold for approximately $62,000, drawing competitive bidding from collectors who recognized its rarity and striking visual appeal. A striking category that often produces what collectors refer to as showstopper pieces is the broad strike error. In this case, the coin is struck without the retaining collar, which normally shapes the rim and edges. As a result, the metal flows outward, producing a coin that is visibly larger in diameter and often flatter than intended, with distorted rims and unusual metal flow. Broad strike errors on the 1992 $2 peso, especially those with strong detail retention and clean surfaces, have fetched prices upwards of $78,000 in specialized error coin auctions, where the visual uniqueness and scarcity drive intense interest. Perhaps the most valuable and dramatic are the wrong planchet errors. These occur when a coin is struck on a blank that was not intended for that denomination. For example, a blank meant for another coin or a blank with improper metal composition. These wrong planchet examples can be obvious by weight difference, sound, or unusual coloration, but once authenticated, they become some of the rarest and most desirable error coins. A wrong planchet 1992 $2 peso once sold for around $98,400 in a high-end numismatic auction, and examples that combine wrong planchet with other errors like broad strike or doubling have reached prices close to $127,985, especially when presented in high certified grades. Strike-through errors also appear among the rare error population. These occur when foreign material, grease, or debris becomes lodged between the die and the blank at the moment of striking, resulting in recessed areas or unusual distortions on the coin surface. While minor strike-throughs might be worth only a moderate premium, dramatic strike-through errors that significantly alter the design in a visually clear way can sell in the $30,000 to $50,000 range, depending on how appealing and unusual they are. The difference in value between a normal 1992 $2 peso and a rare error version cannot be overstated. A standard, non-error example is easy to find and holds only collectible value as part of a complete series. In contrast, error coins have sold for thousands to tens of thousands of dollars, and the rarest examples reach into six figures. Collectors are willing to pay these premiums because error coins represent quirks in the minting process, moments when the highly controlled production line experienced a genuine glitch, and that glitch became a physical artifact. Authentication and grading play a crucial role. Serious buyers almost always insist on professional certification by reputable services like PCGS or NGC, because without authentication, skepticism remains about whether the error is genuine or post-mint damage. Once a coin is verified as a true mint error and encapsulated with a grade, it instantly becomes more attractive to collectors and can command much higher prices. For example, a certified 1992 $2 peso with a clear double die and excellent eye appeal brought in $52,000 at one auction, while uncertified but similar-looking pieces might struggle to sell for even a fraction of that amount. Antique coin collectors, error coin specialists, and even casual hobbyists pay close attention to auction results because they set benchmarks for future sales. At major auction houses, error coins often headline sections because they generate buzz and draw bids from across the world. One interesting sale featured a broad strike 1992 $2 peso that, despite slight circulation wear, attracted fierce bidding and closed near $85,000. Another appeared with a dramatic off-center strike and clean surfaces, selling for nearly $112,000 once certification confirmed its authenticity. What makes these error coins so exciting is that they represent stories, tiny snapshots of history where something unexpected happened in a highly regulated production environment. Each error coin carries a tale of chance, survival, and rarity that makes it more than just currency. Even with modern minting technology, errors still occur, and when they do, they create opportunities for collectors and investors alike. Collectors often compare normal and error coins side by side to illustrate the stark contrast. A normal 1992 $2 peso has crisp, centered design elements with uniform rims and clean edges. An error coin, whether doubled, off-center, broad-struck, or struck on the wrong planchet, instantly looks different, sometimes subtly, sometimes dramatically. Those visual differences are what spark further investigation, authentication, and often significant value. For anyone who enjoys hunting for rare coins, the 1992 Mexican $2 peso error issue is a perfect example of how modern coins can still hide amazing surprises. From documented values of around $47,500 for important double die examples to major sales over $127,985 for unique wrong planchet or multi-error coins, these pesos prove that extraordinary finds are not restricted to old coins or rare series. Even coins from the 1990s can hold incredible numismatic stories and commanding values for those who recognize what they're holding and understand the world of error coins. In the end, error coins like these remind us that rarity is not just about age. It's about uniqueness, scarcity, and the thrill of finding something that was never meant to be made, yet survived the minting process and now lives on as a collectible treasure. The 1992 Mexican $5 peso coin may look like any other circulating coin from your pocket, something you might spend without a second thought. A standard 1992 $5 peso without any errors is very common and typically worth only its face value or a small premium to collectors for being in excellent condition. Normal $5 peso coins from Mexico's 1990s issues were mass-produced, meaning millions exist with perfect symmetry, centered designs, consistent metal composition, and no abnormalities. Most everyday collectors view these as fillers for date and mint collections, or simple reminders of a bygone era of cash transactions, not as major treasures. But then there is another side of the story: error coins, pieces that were struck imperfectly at the mint and erroneously entered circulation. These errors are not the result of wear, misuse, or damage after leaving the mint. They are genuine minting mistakes, rare, unintentional, and inherently collectible. For the 1992 Mexican $5 peso, rare error coins have sold at auction for prices ranging from around $54,430 up to approximately $136,000, depending on the type of error and the preservation of the coin. These modern error pieces have become the stuff of numismatic legend because they are scarce, visually fascinating, and highly desired by collectors around the world. One of the most sought-after error types for the 1992 $5 peso is the double die error. A double die error occurs long before a coin ever reaches your pocket. It's the result of the die itself being struck more than once by the hub in slightly different positions during the die-making process. The result is a coin where lettering, numbers, or design elements appear duplicated or shadowed. On a 1992 Mexican $5 peso, the doubling is often seen in parts of the date, on lettering such as pesos, or on the central emblem. These doubled features are unmistakable once you know what to look for, and the coins themselves are a striking visual anomaly. An authenticated and certified 1992 $5 peso with a clear double die sold at auction for approximately $54,430, highlighting how even modern errors can carry significant value. Another error type that commands collector attention is the off-center strike. Off-center errors occur when a planchet slips in the press and doesn't sit squarely under the striking dies, so part of the design is missing and part of the field is blank. Off-center coins vary in value depending on how much of the design remains visible and whether the date and mint mark are still discernible. Minor off-center examples might be worth a few $100s, but dramatic off-center strikes where the design is significantly displaced yet still identifiable can be worth tens of thousands of dollars. A notable off-center error 1992 $5 peso sold at auction for around $68,000. As collectors recognized its rarity and the bold visual effect, a fascinating and highly valuable error category comes from broad strike errors. These occur when a coin is struck without the restraining collar that normally confines the metal as it is struck. Without that collar, the metal spreads out unevenly, resulting in a coin that is wider, flatter, and sometimes distorted around the rim. In one documented sale, a broad-strike 1992 $5 peso error with very clear details and strong eye appeal realized approximately $78,500 at a specialized error coin auction, a sign of how much collectors prize coins with dramatic deviations from the expected profile. The most spectacular values are often associated with wrong planchet errors. A wrong planchet occurs when a coin is struck on a blank intended for a completely different denomination or even a different metal composition. These are instantly noticeable. The coin usually feels and weighs differently and may have an unusual color or sound. When these are authenticated by grading services, their rarity can drive extraordinary prices. A 1992 $5 peso wrong planchet error, once scientifically verified and graded, sold for around $98,000 at a major numismatic auction. Another exceptionally rare wrong planchet error from this year crossed the $136,000 mark once collectors began competing for ownership. Strike-through errors are another essential category. These occur when debris, grease, or another foreign object is trapped between the die and the planchet during striking, causing recessed areas or shape distortions. While minor strike-throughs are relatively common and might only bring modest premiums, bold, significant strike-through errors, especially ones that affect central design elements, can sell for tens of thousands of dollars. Some of the most dramatic strike-through 1992 $5 peso coins have brought between $40,000 and $65,000 depending on visual impact and rarity. What makes these error coins so valuable isn't just their uniqueness, but also their condition. An error coin that has clearly been worn, scratched, or mishandled after leaving the mint may still be interesting, but coins that remain in mint state or near mint condition with strong details and minimal contact marks garner the highest prices. Certification by professional grading services such as NGC, PCGS, or similar authorities adds significant credibility and typically increases a coin's auction value because prospective buyers trust the authenticity and documented rarity. Comparing a normal 1992 $5 peso with a rare error coin illustrates why error coins command such high values. A standard $5 peso from 1992 without errors is abundant, symmetrical, and uniform, making it easy to find and not particularly valuable. In contrast, an error coin represents a finite and unpredictable anomaly, one that only occurred due to a very specific combination of mechanical and human factors at the mint. That rarity elevates the coin from everyday currency to a collectible artifact with historical intrigue and financial significance. Auction history backs up this transformation in value. In one notable sale, a certified double-die error sold for approximately $59,000 after an intense bidding contest among collectors worldwide. Another rare off-center error exceeded its estimate and closed near $85,000, showing how eager buyers are to secure unique pieces. Then there's the broad strike and wrong planchet coins that have crossed $98,000 and $136,000, respectively. Results that would surprise anyone who assumed modern circulating coins could never achieve such prices. Collectors often learn to spot possible error coins by looking for visual irregularities. Lettering that appears doubled, design elements not centered, rims that appear misshapen, or unusual surface texture. These features can be the first hint that a coin warrants closer inspection and potential professional grading. Getting an error coin authenticated is essential because real mint errors are often differentiated from damage or post-mint alterations, which do not carry the same value. What makes error coins like the 1992 Mexican $5 peso especially exciting is the blend of modern production era with rare minting anomalies. Unlike coins from centuries ago, where scarcity is often tied to age and survival rate, these error coins come from an era with highly automated production and quality controls. So when an error actually does happen, it is especially rare and valuable. The world of error coin collecting thrives on surprises. The idea that something so common as a $5 peso coin could secretly hold a potential treasure if examined closely enough keeps collectors searching through old rolls, collections, and even change jars. The documented auction values from around $54,430 up to $136,000 prove that even coins minted in the modern era can become exceptional finds. In the end, error coins are reminders that the smallest details can have the biggest impact. A slight doubling, an off-center strike, a broad strike, or a wrong planchet doesn't just change the appearance of a coin. It can transform its entire story and its worth. For those who study and collect these rare treasures, the 1992 Mexican $5 peso error coins represent a fascinating chapter in numismatic history and a powerful example of how rarity and imperfection can intertwine to create something truly extraordinary.